Hello, welcome. Amy here, and I am a warrior empath. Thank you for joining me, and I want to invite you all to like and subscribe to my channel, and also check me out at Warriors Empath Healing from Narcissistic Abuse on Facebook. We're growing quite a nice community there, and please jump in, join us. We welcome your comments and your stories. Today we're going to continue on with the Narcissist Playbook again. And these narcissists, I swear they have a playbook. We all do. We all hear the similar things whenever we're conversing in a community of support for those of us who have gone through narcissistic abuse, and we all have our similar stories. Well, today we're going to talk about crazy making. And yes, crazy making is a thing. And the narcissist depends on it. And there isn't a single solitary one of them that doesn't use some of these tactics. These tactics are designed for you to become confused, for all of us to feel confused, to feel unworthy, to feel unloved, and to actually make us question ourselves whether or not we are going crazy. So a lot of the tactics they use for this also comes in. This typically comes in during the devaluing stage. And of course, that is the stage right after the love bombing. Right after you've been knocked from that pedestal. And we are then trying to scramble back up on that pedestal to receive that love and the affection and all that was given to us during the love bombing stage. It is now being taken away from us. One of the tactics that is used to make us feel crazy is lying. And narcissists are excellent at lying. They can just roll it off their tongue like they have, like it's real, like it's true, but it isn't. It isn't. You know, all of us, of course, will tell some small little white lie, like, you really look good in that dress. Or, wow, you really got a good singing voice. But what they do to lie is to set you off guard, to make you feel confused. And it is also, it's a deliberate attempt to confuse and manipulate and mislead you. And they can tell you things like, you may ask them, say they had said that they were going to see their parents, and that they'll talk to you maybe tomorrow. So when you talk to them tomorrow, and you ask them, how was that? at your parents? Well, they may give you a very long, detailed explanation about how they went there to help their parents, and maybe a sibling came to visit, and also they had dinner. They may even go into great detail about the dinner that they had. They'll say, I had steak, or Mom made a great roast, or something like that. And they get into very specific detail into it. Later on, you find they weren't at their parents'. They were somewhere else, usually doing something that they don't want you to know about. Maybe chatting up a secondary supply that they may be thinking of replacing you with at some point. Or they may have just gone out with a buddy or a girlfriend and they saw a movie. But it's those types of things that get you thinking, if they're so good at lying, how can I trust them? And now, in one of my videos, I did go over some of the lies that the recent the recent ex, who was a narcissist and still is a narcissist, what he did was he had total lies about his own background, his education, where he worked. He didn't work at any of those places that he told us. And he had quite an elaborate, detailed stories about it. He claimed he was a truck driver, an over-the-road truck driver. And he would go into quite detail on everything, that places he would stop, people that he'd see at truck stops, and he even had a name for this other truck company that he said he worked for. In doing my background check, no. He never had a license to drive a truck or semi. And he never owned a rig. He never drove a truck. He didn't work for that company, but he would walk around in that jacket that had that company's name on the back. I imagine he got it at Goodwill. So, I guess that'd be another story. But no, it was every job he had ever had was in cooling and heating. Every single one, from the time he started employment until the last position or job he had when he retired. And oh yeah, he had everyone in this community believing, and they still believe, he drove a truck. They said he'd bring his truck and park it here. And I would ask these people, did you actually see it? And each and every one of them that swore he drove a truck and swore he parked it here never saw that truck. So They are great, great liars. And it just seems to come so naturally for them. So, be careful. And as a trusting, feeling person, like us empaths are, we trust. I never thought to question a lot of things because I trusted. Now, another technique they like to use is projection. If you want to know what a narcissist is thinking or feeling, it is what he or she is telling you that you are. They may tell you that you're disturbed. They may tell you you're just not getting things. They will project anger onto you, ask you why you're so angry, when in fact it is themselves who are angry. Narcissists carry a lot of anger. Remember, this is not it's a personality disorder, not necessarily a mental illness such as depression, bipolar, that type of thing. Those things come from an actual chemical imbalance within the body. Narcissism is created, and it is created in childhood. So when they were children and growing up, they were confused, they were put down, they were made to feel less than. They were made to feel that there was nothing they could do right. And not only did not get any approval or validation or love, they were scorned, they were put down, and they suffered the same abuse that they give to us. So they like to project onto us who they are. And you'll find that quite a bit in their lies. Because they will say, that was you who said that. That was you who did that. Not me. But in reality, it was them. And then another tactic they like to use a lot is future faking. Future faking is where they are putting out there that this is the most important relationship they have ever had, and that you are their soulmate. And they are going to make you happy for the rest of your life. And they'll future fake on things that you're going to do together. They may future fake on a vacation or travel. And then they may, one of their favorite things to future fake on is how serious they are in this relationship, that they will take this all the way to marriage. They will dangle a carrot of thinking that they are preparing to marry you. They may even want to show you a venue or an outside location, or say, this is the spot that I want to ask you to marry me. We're going to go there. You never go. It never happens. So with the projection, you get to see what is exactly going on inside their heads, inside their emotions. And you can't actually say that narcissists don't have emotions. They do, but they're for themselves. And for you, for us, they will have emotions of anger and even hatred. They come to hate us. And mainly because they are looking for this perfect person who is going to be just like them, like everything about them, who's going to just fawn over them, tell them how wonderful they are, tell them how much you love and care for them, and there's no one other than you. And when actually what they are doing is they're mirroring back to you, yourself. And that's in a way why we care and how they hook us. Because they have studied us. They know who we are. They know pretty much our desires, our hopes, our dreams, our likes, our dislikes. I remember one instance when the narc and I, we had been together for about a month. And we were in a fast food restaurant, and he was doing the order for me.
New message is received from 30330.
And that is, I never had anybody try to order for me. So he gives them his order, and then he says, for me, he says, and she'll have the same thing. I'm like thinking to myself, what? No, I don't want the same thing. And I jumped in and said, excuse me, but I will have this sandwich with this and this and this on it. Thank you very much. He looked at the person who was taking our order, and he was so embarrassed. He just turned bright red. I imagine he may have been angry then too. But he says to this poor kid, well, she's like me. I thought she'd like what I like. But he was very much embarrassed. And so another tactic they love to use, and it's one that I hate, one of the most difficult tactic that they use is triangulation. Triangulation is where the narcissist will, in front of you, or tell you about this, that they were talking to this person and how fascinating they were, usually a person of the opposite sex. They don't need to be young, middle-aged, or old. They'll throw it all in there. But it's usually a person that they're doing this to try to get you jealous. The more jealous you are, and the more they can make you jealous and question them, they get you off guard. They get you to react. And then they can come back to you and say, why would you ever think that? Or, you are so jealous. You make me sick. And like I said, it can be young, it can be old, they can be middle-aged. Mine triangulated me with more people, and he triangulated me with my best friend. One thing he did is, I was home, I was there, he wasn't feeling good. And I had been on the phone with him talking just a few minutes, well, about a half hour before, asking him if he needed to go into the doctor and that I would give him a ride. 2 hours later,